Sydney in 2014 in August, and I was waiting for my hotel to be ready, and I hadn't slept in many hours, and I couldn't get into my hotel because it wasn't ready yet or something. So I just went for a walk, and I ended up in the Sydney Gardens, and it was good. It was a good way to pass the time. And it's very beautiful, very tranquil, and it's like in the heart of the city almost, or near Chinatown. And so what else I would like to talk about in this video is recently I tried LSD for the first time. LSD or acid, whatever you want to call it. It's something I've been thinking about for quite a long time now and waiting to do. I met a friend and we got talking, and he said he's into psychedelic drugs and all that. So it's something I've always wanted to try and experiment with. So finally, after a long delay, I had the opportunity to try some, and myself and a few other people took some LSD, and we went to a park, and it was the first time I've ever been on a trip, but I went with experienced people who have done it before. The reason that I did it was I've suffered from depression for a long time, and this year I would say was one of the worst periods that I've suffered from it. It was just inescapable, and feeling low every day and not even wanting to get out of bed. That's like the lowest point that I've been for a long time. You just have no motivation whatsoever. So I really wanted to experience LSD because I've read about it heaps, and I've tried other drugs like I've tried marijuana, I've tried numerous antidepressants, I've tried valium, sleeping pills, stuff like that. So I thought I'd just give it a shot, and I wanted an experience. And so, yeah, we took it, and it took about, nothing happened for an hour. Like, you get this little tab, it comes in a tab, like a little tiny piece of paper or a bit of cardboard or something, and you put it under your tongue, and you leave it there for about half an hour or so. And you don't know when the trip's gonna start. Things start to change gradually, and so we were walking around feel anything different? And I just said, I feel a bit jittery. This was like 40 minutes into it. And he said, yes, we feel the same. And he said, do you notice anything different? And I said, well, not really. Maybe my hands look a bit bigger than normal. So we kept walking through the forest, and I started to feel like I was 8 feet tall. And I didn't notice any. You noticed changes to like visuals, and things become brighter, colours become brighter and stuff. I don't remember if that was the case, but we kept walking, and we were getting really tired. And then I think we stopped to rest, and we felt, well, I felt anyway, it was kind of like the feeling that you've been drinking quite heavily, but it was really relaxing. And we just sat back, and for all of a sudden, all these people dressed as where's Wally? Wally. You know the white and red striped shirts and all that. For some reason, all these people congregated onto this section of park that we were in, and there was a guy dressed in a tutu, and we thought, is this part of, are we hallucinating this? So after a while there, we got up and started walking because we were quite hungry at that point. And then more weird stuff happened, more Where's Wally people started walking up this hill. Sorry. I'm very tired myself. And then these guys came running up, and they were dressed as minions from Despicable Me. It must have been part of some learning exercise, a group bonding exercise for some workplace or something, because all these strange people dressed in costumes started running up. And at this point I noticed, this was like an hour into it, I noticed things, colours, and I was really appreciative and felt really happy and euphoric. And I was just walking, and then we sat in my friend's car for a while, and we were just laughing about anything was funny, just making noises that caused us to laugh. And I remember looking up into the sky and just watching clouds form and move, and it was a beautiful feeling just watching the clouds roll and move. It was amazing. And so I guess now I'll stop talking about the actual feelings that I had, and more about, so I'll start talking about was just thinking about one thing, and that was it. And I was just looking at plants and the landscape of this big park that we're in, and just being in awe at nature and everything like that. And I had this feeling inside when I was around other people, this great, I don't know, this great sadness in myself that the people were just going on about their day-to-day business and they weren't seeing the world as I was seeing it. And I just felt sorry for them, that they weren't in this mind frame. And there was a point of me that I can remember now that thought, like, I don't want this to end, this feeling of happiness to end. I'm going to be so depressed when this is over with. So that was the good part. And people will either say they have good or bad trips. And I had a bit of both. I suffer from anxiety. That's one of my problems as well. I get anxious quite easily. And one of my friends decided to leave the park and drive to one of his friend's house to get these canisters of I don't know what they're called, CO2 canisters or something, to inhale. I didn't partake in that, but the trip changed because I went from this beautiful outdoor setting to being in my friend's car, which is a garbage truck on wheels. Well, pretty much it's like he just chucks. It's filthy. It's absolutely filthy. And I was cramped in there, and I felt horrible. I was feeling sick, and I had no control over anything, and that was freaking me out. So then we went to his friend's place, and it was this dirty little shack of a house in this really rough part of town, and the room was so dark, and he had this rave music playing, and I didn't really want to be listening to that. I'd rather be listening to classical music or the Beatles or something that I like, not this raging techno music. So that I felt trapped, that I didn't have a choice. And at this stage, this was about 3 hours into it. The thing with acid is you lose track of time, and time just seems to slow down. And the thoughts that I was having were really strange. Like, I felt like I was thinking about my life and how terrible things have gotten for me, and how easy it should be to change, but that I don't see it in the light of day. It's this other realm of thinking that I can see myself. And that's what I think acid does, is it changes your perspective on life. I've read about it and other people have done it, and I didn't really believe that it would be this effective, but it really turned my thinking inside out, and I was stressing out, and I didn't want to be in this environment. A lot has to do with the trip that you're on. It has to do with, I think Timothy Leary, a psychologist, once said that you need the set and setting for the trip. And I went from this beautiful place where I felt really calm and at peace with myself to this environment with these known high drug users. I didn't want to be in this, and they were doing more drugs on top of the acid, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to do the LSD, and that was it. So I was kind of freaking out, and I felt like I was exhausted. I couldn't move, and I just couldn't speak, and I was so dehydrated. And eventually I just said, can I have some valium? Do you have it? Does anyone have any valium? Because if you're having a bad trip, the best thing to do is to take some valium, and that will help cut short or relieve the anxiety that you're feeling. It also makes you go to sleep. So I was kind of at this stage nodding off, and I was getting annoyed because my friend was, every time I was getting into a state of calm, my friend was pestering me and saying, how's the acid? How's the acid? And that was really annoying. Eventually we went outside again, but this was a long way into it, and I was enjoying nature again. But if I did acid again, which I think I will, I'm just going to be out in nature, and that's it. I just stay outside in a setting that I find relaxing and beautiful. I think for someone who's suffered from depression and who's seen psychiatrists and psychologists and been to countless doctors about it, I think in my experience, even if some of it was bad, the LSD trip was a huge awakening for myself. In the trip, I felt like I had always felt this way. I had never been normal, and that was really terrifying. And I was wondering, will I ever get back to my normal state? So there was that, and then I was feeling this overwhelming sense of love and longing for my family, and that I just wanted to get back to them and tell them I love them. And I really cried on the way home, as I was fine to drive after 8 hours. I was driving my car and then I was just crying because I was thinking of animals, pets that I've had, and it made me really emotional just to think of them and think of pets that have come and gone, that are no longer in my life. And I just think LSD is an amazing drug that that really should be used in people who are suffering from depression, because as people have said, that it shows you the other side of the coin. It shows you that there are other ways of thinking and other mind frames. I personally find it very hard to meditate. I can never shut off all the noise, and when I was on the trip, I felt like nothing could touch me or anything, like nothing. I could meditate and be at peace with myself. So yeah, I think people should try it at least once in their life. It's not addictive, and no one has ever overdosed on LSD. So that's the positive thing. It's just very hard to get, and I wish I was alive in the 60s. That would have been a different time, and I'm just saddened by the regulations of things that can possibly help people overcome their problems. So thank you for listening to this quite long rambling video, and if you've ever taken anything that's made you feel different or gave you a great insight, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and stay safe.